Hello, everyone. Welcome. This is Kyle Gray. Welcome to the 5-day Raise Your Vibration Challenge. It is an absolute honor and pleasure to be here and connected with all of you. And just before we came on to the call, I had a text from Reed Tracy. We had over 168,000 people opt in to this Raise Your Vibration Challenge. And so that in itself is a clear statement that we are in this very specific, very particular time where we are all being called to action and to step into this space where we are really wanting to make the most of the planet that we have come into. All of us are feeling called to leave this planet in a better place than how we have come to it or how we have found it. So I want to first of all just take a moment to thank you, but also honor you. Whether you realize it or not, there is this greater call from the heart of creation, and it's calling out you. It's calling out to you and it's recruiting you. And I'd like to say that the universe has called you into this space. It's calling you into this space and other spaces like this because you have a power and a potential to make your little corner of the world a brighter, more exciting, and even more a safer place to be. And whether you realize it or not, for whatever reason you have been brought into this space or whatever reason you are feeling called to stepping into that whole concept of raising your vibration, you are answering a greater call from the heart of the universe that is inviting you to ultimately not just raise the vibration of your own energy field, but also the energy of all those around you in whatever part of the world that you are in. So you might, feel called to raising your vibration because you want to be a better parent, or you want to be a better partner, or a better colleague. Maybe because you are facing a time of uncertainty with your well-being or your health. Maybe you're feeling called to raising your vibration because you're overcoming some addiction or a challenge that you faced in your physical body or with your mental wellness. For whatever reason it is, our initial instinct to raise our vibration is maybe for ourselves, but I also want you to know that whatever you do for yourself is also what you are offering up to the whole. And that whole is our planet, and it's the neighboring planets, and it's about how we can not just make our own little planet a safer place to be. That in turn also affects the greater buildup of planets all around us. So thank you for showing up for yourself, but also thank you for showing up for your family, for your partners, for your colleagues, for your friends, for your community, for your planet. That is huge stuff. So if we have never been formally introduced before, my name is Kyle Gray. I'm from the west coast of Scotland. I live in a place called Bearsden, which is just on the outskirts of Glasgow's city centre. It's a very leafy town, and right now we are in the heart of a giant thunderstorm. The house was shaking and there was thunder and there was lightning and the dogs were curled up in their bed. So if you hear any background bangs or crashes, I can confirm it is Thor striking his hammer upon the clouds up there. And I'm really honored to be here. I'm a Hay House author. This is my 10th year being an author at Hay House. Since joining Hay House Publishers, I've written 8 books. Some of them have done particularly well. My most well-known book is called Raise Your Vibration, which inspired this challenge today. And I'm also a co-creator of 5 Oracle decks that are really aimed at helping you tap into and receive guidance directly from the teacher within, from your guides, your angels, and from the source of creation itself. So that's my work, and I have been doing spiritual work for 18 years. I was at one point considered the youngest medium in the UK. And although my work initially was centered around telling people information and bringing through information for others, there was a bit of a pivot in my career where I realized that I wasn't here to tell people the answers. More, I was here to hold space for those around me to connect with the answers within themselves. There are two fundamental teachings that I bring into all of the things that I do. And the first things first, all of us in this space are equals. We are equals, you and I. We have all come from that same source of creation, and that is the same space in which we shall return. You and I have that same mother, father, source energy, that same mother, father, God, and all of us, because we all have the same mother, father, are considered equals. And so I wanted to come into this space, first of all, really just to say to you that because I'm holding the space for this challenge today, it does not make me more special or more superior or more enlightened or more ascended, you know. I consider myself your equal. And I don't want to be considered your teacher, but more I want to consider myself kind of like your spiritual running buddy. I'm on the same road as you, and we're in this together, you know. And I think that's so important, just to remember that we are equals. And I have come, you know, over the years to the understanding that the moment we glorify another person and put them above us and make them more sacred or special, in some way denies our own holiness. It's a moment where we kind of make someone better or more special or more holy than us. And I think in that moment, we can lose connection to the great source of wisdom that we all hold within us. So I'm not here to be put on a pedestal. I'm here to stand shoulder to shoulder, eye to eye, heart to heart as your equal. The other thing I wanted to share with you today is today I'm going to be speaking to you and sharing with you information that I consider my truth. But your truth and my truth are allowed to be different. And so I wanted to say to you, if you come in here today and you think, yeah, I like some of the things this guy is sharing and saying, or you like some of the information that is shared and coming to you in support of this challenge, like the free lessons and the meditations, I think it's really important just to say to you that your truth and the truth of me and the other teachers and meditation guides in this challenge is their truth, and your truth is allowed to be different. And if you feel something is different, that's okay. We can all coexist. And that's a really big lesson in raising your vibration. Raising your vibration is about being a great neighbor. You know, it's about holding space for those around you, but also honoring their truth as well. And I think it's really important to recognize that what I'm going to be sharing with you and leading you through is one of many roads and many paths and many ideas that can lead us to the same place. So your truth and my truth might not always be the same, but that's okay. We're in this together. The other thing I wanted to remind you, and I have a few notes because I have so much things that I need to remind you of. And I wanted to just come here today and just tell you that everything that we're going to be sharing, including, you know, the information I'm sharing with you and also the supporting lessons, are all going to be in the Hay House Unlimited audio app. So if you want to come back and listen to any of this information, or you want to do the meditations or the extra lessons for each of the days, and today we've obviously got a lesson from Mel Robbins, who's like a powerhouse of energy, who gives us these, you know, 3 essential tips to getting our energy up and out there so that we can really be the best that we can be. And also a meditation from my teacher, Louise Hay, and the founder of Hay House. They're all in the Hay House Unlimited audio app, and you can go to them and you will see I use the app. I was already a subscriber before I was invited to do this challenge and to lead this challenge. So I wanted to say, I was really excited to be invited to lead this challenge because I think we are in a particularly interesting, critical time. And, we've been in this really intense container for the last 18 months or more in the world, and especially in the Western world, where we're really recognizing the power of our influence, the power of our voice, and also the power of our actions and our non-actions. Just all of the different things that have happened over this 18 months can be really fascinating. And some of the shifts and the changes that have happened to the earth when the whole world shut down and stopped moving is really fascinating. So we're really learning about the power of our energy. And I've come to this understanding that everything in this entire universe is comprised of energy. That includes you, and that includes me. But that also includes your actions and your non-actions. It includes your emotions and your choices and everything that you are fueling your body with. Everything is energy. And the idea of vibration and the idea of raising your vibration is based on this teaching that everything is vibrating energy, that nothing is static. And the best way for us to kind of get our head and our heart around our energy and also the magnitude of our energy can be kind of stripped down and peeled away by just looking at common human behavior. We as beings don't recognize that we are actually navigating the world like these gigantic aerials, these antennae, and we are not just receiving information, we're also transmitting it, but also all of us have the capacity to transform it. And if you are in this challenge, there's a good chance that you've already tried the quiz that I created with Hay House for this challenge. There's 3 different types of people, and we have all of these traits inside of us. The transmitter, which is like the lighthouse, that person that just wherever they go, they're just beaming off energy and vibration. And it's often people who are in leadership type positions. Sometimes they can have really vibrant, in your face, super excitable energy. That person that just walks in the room and commands it. That's a transmitter. We've got receptors, and receptors are the more empathic type, the person that feels everything. And when someone tells you a story, they don't just feel or hear the story, they feel the emotions behind it. Receptors are deeply emotionally centered and connected and are able to intuit the space that they are in. And then you've got the transformer, who kind of is somewhere in the middle of that, where they can transmit but also receive, and are able to rewire their choices and their frequency and their language and their expression in order to shift and change, or shape shift and change into the atmosphere they're in, to match the vibration or to raise it if necessary. None of them are higher in vibration than the other. I would say that the receptors are more influential and can and sometimes have their energy more affected by those around them and the environment that they are in than any of the others. And for that reason, it's really important to take extra steps to consistently raise your vibration in order to stay in a frequency that is best serving you. So all of us can go into a party, right? And we know what it's like to walk into a party, and if there is a drama unfolding, and like where there's two people not getting on, or two people about to have an argument or fallout, or there's already been a fallout, you walk into the party and you just know it. It just hits you like a ton of bricks. It just feels heavy and overwhelming, and it just doesn't feel good. But we also know what it's like to walk into a party and experience the complete opposite, where people are having the best time ever. The fun is good fun. It's clean fun, in the sense where no one is suffering for the fun that is being had, where everyone is having a great time and things are really positive and there's a good atmosphere. So we know what it's like to walk into the bad vibe, and we know what it's like to walk into the good vibe. And the truth of the matter is, all of us, whether we like it or not, and we really have to own this, have been both of those people. We've all been the person that's having the great time, and we've all been the person that's having a not so great time. And I will think that you will agree with me that therefore, not only are you someone that is giving off energy, you're also someone that's receiving it. You've been on both sides of the coin in all of these situations. The person walking into the party where there's good vibes, the person walking into the party where there's bad vibes, the person at the party who's not having good vibes, or the person who is at the party having the best time of their life. So all of us are giving energy off and receiving energy. So that is what vibration is. Vibration is the subtle fluctuations of energy that are emitting from your being, and ultimately influencing the atmosphere in which you are in at that time. And if it's an atmosphere that you are in a longer period of time, that is what is emitting from the space which you spend the majority of your time. And so nothing in this universe is static. It's all vibrating. And this information is, of course, being explored in physics and quantum physics. It's there, but this is information that has been circulating the planet, from the beginning of time. And the Sanskrit, Indo-Tibetan teachings have always spoke about, in the beginning there was Om. This Om sound, which is a vibrational sound that was created and then created the planet, shared through Eastern scripture. But that's also kind of in alignment with the concept of the Big Bang. There was this gigantic vibrational explosion, boom, and it pulsed through the universe and created our universe that we know of today. So in the beginning, there was this vibration, and everything that has been created from the original vibration, that energy which I call God or source or love, is vibrating. So everything that has been created from the original vibration is vibrating. And this is something that psychics and scientists can finally agree on, that everything is energy, and energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be changed from one form to another. And we at will, using the power of our mind, body, and intention, have the ability and the capacity to shift and change our vibration. So what does it mean to raise your vibration? Raising your vibration is essentially making the conscious choice in your life to shift what you are giving off. It's that conscious choice to ultimately work on constantly transmitting a higher way of being, a more loving way of being. Is that conscious choice where you think, how can I be a better vehicle of love in the world today? And before we get any further in that conversation, this isn't about, living in this pink candy floss bubble of rainbows and unicorns, although that sounds pretty awesome. It's also about recognizing the parts of your life that could be causing harm, whether it be you denying a truth that happened in your family, or avoiding having that conversation with a loved one or a partner about something that really needs healing, or kind of skipping past the casual racism that's happening in your office. Raising your vibration is also about going to the places in your life where something is not right, or not good, or not helpful, or loving, or healing, and facing it head on. Now, this is not a moment for you to get pulled into guilt with that, because what you know today, if you knew it today, if you knew what you know today back then or before, you would have done things differently, right? This is a moment for you to see things as they are and to gather tools and practices and information that will fuel you into making the rest of your life the best of your life. So, not everyone has been constructed or made to be someone who is a frontline activist. Not everyone has been constructed or created to be someone who's out there in the thick of it. That's just not the way it works. It's more reaching to the parts of your life and the world that need healing, and doing it in a way that is available to you. So that's what it means to raise your vibration. And raising your vibration often happens after this thing that we are now coming to acknowledge as a spiritual awakening, sometimes also known as a Kundalini awakening, which is what it is, but sometimes that can be a little bit more intense. And a spiritual awakening is basically a moment that brings you home. It's a moment where you start to see the world so differently than you saw it before. It's kind of like, people call it your coming to Jesus moment in some ways. I call it the coming to Krishna moment for some people. It's that moment where you have an aha, oh my goodness, I am all of this, but I'm all of this too. I am my own self and my own being, but I am infinitely aligned and connected to a greater force of power and the world. It's that recognition that my actions don't just affect me, they affect everyone else. So the raising of your vibration often comes after a spiritual awakening, and spiritual awakenings can often occur after a deeply traumatic or emotional time of your life. They can also just be self-occurring, where they just happen one moment. But the far majority of people that I've met have often been led to wanting to do better, or raise their vibration after they've experienced something that's deeply emotional or traumatic, or overwhelming or heavy. So it's that moment where you shift, you decide, you know what, or you realize I am part of something greater. And you realize that because of your part of something greater, you have the power and the potential to make it better, that you can leave this place a better place. And I would say that raising your vibration essentially always begins with yourself. It starts with a self practice. And then as you start to do the work on you, you start to then influence all those around you. And it's not like an outward influence where you're like forcing it down their throat. It's more just by the shift in your behavior and your choices and the way you navigate your world, you start to have this positive, loving influence on all those around you. So if you've ever been interested in the Buddha, I wanted to be a religious education teacher when I was younger, and I kind of sometimes think I am one, but a non-religious practitioner. But I was always fascinated by the Buddha, and the Buddha had a spiritual awakening, which in turn led him on to wanting to essentially what we would now call raising his vibration. And the Buddha had this thing called the four sights, where basically he was born not a monk, he was born a prince. And the Buddha was confined into this palace because there was this prediction by a mystic that should the Buddha see the world in its true form, he would go on to become a great spiritual teacher. And his dad, who was, a royal, didn't want that for his son. And so he kind of brought him up in this bubble of privilege and kept him away from, any sadness in the world. And one day he broke out from the castle grounds and went exploring, and he saw the thing that they call the four sights, and he saw an old man, a suffering person, someone who was sick. He saw someone being carried to their resting place as in a funeral. And then he also saw a wandering monk, an ascetic who was very skinny. And he saw all of these four visions, and it shook him up in this really intense way where he thought, the way I've been seeing the world this whole time until now is not the truth. And he went home and he packed up all his things. And he's like, oh, he didn't pack up all his things. He let go of all his things. And he said, I am leaving and I'm not coming back until I've found enlightenment. And then the Buddha in turn went in search. So the spiritual awakening, which that moment of he had the four sights, isn't the instant, oh my goodness, I'm now high vibration. It's not that instant, you are now enlightened. The spiritual awakening is like it's like that crescendo, that wake up call, that recognition that the way you've been seeing the world has been tunneled. You've had blinkers on, you've not seen the full picture. And that awakening is that recognition that something greater is going on and you want to live in a more purposeful way. So there's a good chance that something has happened in your life that in turn has sent you on this journey, this searching, where you want to make a difference. And that ultimately is a spiritual awakening. And I want to say to you that if you felt different to all those around you, or like you don't fit in, or you're not fully understood, or you're often feeling like your sensitivity is, something that people don't get, or they roll their eyes at, or you feel like that one person that sticks out in your family, I want you to know that you're not alone. And I want you to know that the reason you're feeling like this is because you know that not everyone is fully aligned to the greater picture or truth. But that does not mean that you can't exist with them, and it doesn't mean you can't have great relationships with them. It's just, it makes you feel like you are on the outside. But the truth of the matter is, sometimes we have to get away from ourselves in order to find ourselves. So in some way, you're kind of like the Buddha in the beginning of the journey, where you're saying, I realize that I can contribute to the removal of suffering in myself. And in turn, if I can find a way to remove the suffering in me, I will also be removing suffering from the greater world, the greater picture. And that is what it means to raise your vibration. Raising your vibration is about consistency. It's not a one-time thing. It's more a lifetime practice. And this 5-day challenge is centered on helping you get elevated. And there's going to be some things along the way that are feeling really, really good and really, really supportive. And then there's going to be things that doesn't feel exactly in alignment with you. But that's the only way you're going to find out is by exploring. So I'm going to share with you a practice on helping you tune into the universe as is my offering to you today. But before I do that, I can see there's been a bunch of questions coming in, and I want to just take a moment just to answer some of them. So, do you have an affirmation that keeps you in a high vibration? So, in all honesty, any positive affirmation, is a high vibrational practice. So by saying something positive and affirmative to yourself, it is a practice that ultimately raises your vibration. But the truth of the matter is, it's not the words you say in an affirmation that ultimately raises your vibration. It's the feeling behind the affirmation. One of my most favorite affirmations is this one I always do. I put my left hand on my heart and my right hand on my belly, and I say, I am the keeper of my mind and of my body. And wherever love is present, fear is a stranger, and love is here in me. I am the keeper of my mind and of my body. And wherever love is present, fear is a stranger, and love is here in me. So any affirmation you say can help raise your vibration, but it's not necessarily the words that you're saying, it's more the feeling behind the words. And if you can get those feelings inside of you to match what you're saying on the outside, then your vibration is going to level up. Question: can you tell me how the blockages I have can be removed to reach an even higher level of vibrationing and opening up to the guys and girls upstairs? Will it happen when I work on my meditations, or do I need to do something else? So, here's what I've always found. When we raise our vibration, or when we set a practice in our life, a spiritual practice, which is ultimately to raise your vibration, to live in a more conscious way, we can't necessarily always have a plan of how it's going to look or how it's going to feel. Because when we're doing that, we often can be limiting ourselves and our experience. And so if you have like a moment in your mind, you think, that's when I know my vibration will be raised, then that's an illusion. I believe that when we set the intention to consistently do a practice, the blockages that we are facing or the blockages that we are experiencing will undo. They will unlock or unblock organically. We just have to be willing to face everything that comes up inside of us. And I think a lot of people, think that raising your vibration and doing spiritual work can be a replacement for traditional therapy or other things that we need to do in our life, and they're not. It's more practices that you do alongside it. So if something, heavily traumatic happened to you in your life, or there's shock or PTSD or anything like that, it's still good to kind of follow through with maybe a more traditional, I'll use maybe word, traditional practice or traditional therapy, but also doing the stuff on the side to to raise your vibration will lead you there. I think of Louise Hay in that respect, and Louise Hay did the Pilates, and she did the therapist, and she got her anger out, and she did her own practice of positive affirmations, and all the other stuff, everything. We can't just expect the meditations to heal everything. We might sometimes have to have support to go to the deeper levels of our psyche to heal what needs to be healed. Can chanting raise your vibration? From Viroshka. Yes, chanting is an amazing thing. And I'll be honest, I am a bit of a dabbler, and I've enjoyed going to Christian churches where people are singing, and I've also loved going to the Hare Krishna centers where people are chanting, and Kundalini meditation classes where people are chanting. I love it all. If you are singing about the presence of love and the presence of forgiveness and the presence of ultimate acceptance, your vibration will be raised. So when you are listening to music that makes you feel good, your vibration will be lifted. And sometimes you need to sing painful songs too, like listening to music that's hard and heavy or emotional, or was written by a singer who was going through a hard time, can often help you meet those feelings inside yourself so that you can dig them out rather than leave them in. So I think singing and chanting as a whole is something that will support the raising of your vibration, and voice and sound is vibration and can have a deeply healing effect upon your being. So this is from Nenke or Ninke. I have been manifesting so many negative things, even when I was in a good mood or flow, also very unexpected things. How can I prevent that? That's a really great question. You're on the path, you're raising your vibration, and then bam, something comes along and it's earth shattering or intense or overwhelming or emotional, and you think, wait a minute, I've been doing all the work. I've been doing the meditations, the affirmations, the yoga classes, the chanting. I've done it all, and for some reason, bad things still happen. And here's the truth. Your spiritual practice, the practice of raising your vibration, which is essentially just a conscious choice to return to love on a daily basis, is there to hold you for when things go wrong. It's not there to divert things from going wrong. It's not to stop bad things from happening. It's more there to hold you for when the stuff hits the fan, you're going to have something, a practice, a prayer, a meditation that holds you when times are rough, when times are challenging, when times are choppy. Raising your vibration will never allow you to get out of being a human being. We're going to be faced with challenges. We're going to be faced with fears. Things are still going to go wrong, but it's more how you navigate it and how you react and how you get through it is what raising your vibration is all about. Raising your vibration means having a practice in place that will hold you through times of change and times of pain. But it also means that you are setting this conscious choice to return to love on a daily basis. Okay, I'll do one more question and I'm going to share my practice with you. This is coming from Joanna. She says, I have fibromyalgia and joint pain. How can I raise my vibration to heal? Oh, it's a really great question. I think one of the things that I've always said is that we were never born to suffer, and your natural state is whole, healed, and complete. I would say that healing does not happen in the future, it happens in the present. And I also believe that raising your vibration does not necessarily always have to equate to doing the mental, emotional, spiritual work. It can also be the physical and nutritional stuff too. So raising your vibration to heal your body, and this is just as a whole, if there's inflammation, find foods and eat a diet that reduces inflammation. If you are doing spiritual healing work, visualize the healing already unfolded. Don't ask for healing to come. So if you use prayer, you might say, please God, bring me healing. You want to say, dear universe, thank you for the healing that has already been given to my body. It feels so good to be whole, healed, and complete. I also would say that healing is a journey. It's not a destination. Healing does not look like this from A to B. It might look like A all over the place, lines going everywhere until you finally get to the path that you would consider healed. I would also say if you are on the journey to healing, the days that are good, be grateful for them. Be deeply, deeply grateful for them. Be so thankful for this good stuff that's happened today, you know. Don't keep letting your mind fall into the gutter and thinking that healing is not unfolding because today's not been a good day. Let the good days hold you through it. And the other thing is this: the unhealed can heal too. Because I think all of us seem to think that because we're on our own healing journey, that we're not going to be able to offer healing to the world, when in turn, the healing that we are experiencing is also the healing that we are expressing. So don't feel that you have to be perfect in order to heal. The unhealed can heal too. Hopefully that helps you, Joanna. Okay, I'm gonna say a few things at the end before we wrap up that will support you continuing into this. But the practice I want to talk to you about today is just about creating a way to tune in. Raising your vibration means like adjusting the antenna of your being and reconfiguring it so that you are in connection and in congruence with the energy of the universe. It's that daily conscious choice to return to love. And tuning in is the conscious choice you make on a daily to connect with that force of love. Now, all of us may have a different name or a different word for the creational force of the universe. In this meditation today, I'm going to call it source. And that just feels wide open to me because we've got people here from all different parts of the world, and who will have a different name for the creator energy. So tuning in is that moment you just allow yourself to become one with the universe. And it's that moment where you just tune into the subtle vibration of the universe around you and within you. And if you've ever been to different classes over the years, everyone's got a different way of tuning in. And there's no right way, but more, this is an opportunity and an invitation to you to explore what is good for you to tune in. For me, I just like to keep it simple. I like to sit in a way that feels comfortable. Most of the time, my legs are crossed because that's comfy for me, but that might mean your feet have to be on the earth. It might also be that you feel more comfortable standing up and you want to go stand outside on the grass. But when I'm doing it, I allow my palms to face upwards and I roll my shoulders back and I draw them down. So do that with me now. And tune into your breath. And when I say tune into your breath, what I mean is listen to your breath. Take several deep breaths. And within Sanskrit yogic teachings, there is no difference between the word breath and life force. They are one and the same. And when you breathe with awareness and intention, you are connecting to the vital, living life force that is within you and all around you. In the universe that you are within and expressing from is not up and out there, but more around you and within you and expressing from you now. You are the universe. And I want you to imagine a strand of light coming from the crown of your head and reaching all the way up, piercing into the heart of the midnight sky, into the heart of the universe. And a strand of light coming from the tailbone through the soles of the feet and all the way down into the heart of the earth below you. Light from your being reaching into the heart of the universe. Light from your being reaching into the heart of the earth. You are a bridge of light and goodness between heaven and earth. And in this moment, send a wave of love from your heart, first of all, down into the earth below you, into the planet that you call home, Mother Earth. Give thanks. Thank the Great Mother for holding you and hosting you and every day nourishing you. And send a wave of love from your heart through the crown of the head and all the way into the heart of the universe, into that source of creation. Give your thanks. Thank you, source of life, for allowing me to be part of you, for giving me this individual opportunity to be more conscious and loving. Today I choose to return to love. The love that created me is the love that is within me and the love that surrounds me. I am one with love. And this love that is emanating from your being, it's here to lead the way. So call the love that is in the center of your being up and out and say, love that is within me, love that is around me. Thank you for leading the way. And let's set a collective intention for raising your vibration. What brought you to this space today? What was the reason that you came here? The reason that you tuned in? Whatever that reason is, that is your intention. It's what you are wanting to step into. And let's set a collective intention that love will lead you there and further into a more conscious, abundant, prosperous experience of being a human being with unlimited levels of light, love, healing, and support. And let's set a collective intention that whatever we experience and whatever we gain from this practice, may it be for the greatest good of all beings in the four corners of the world. And in particular, we reach our light out to the children and the animals of this planet who sometimes are seen and not heard, or not seen or not heard. Thank you, divine love, for lifting them up. And we also reach our light out to those who are marginalized. Thank you, universe, for lifting up all those who need to be lifted. And place your left hand on your heart, your right hand on your belly. Take a big deep breath in. Let it all go. And say this: I am the keeper of my mind and of my body. Wherever love is present, fear is a stranger, and love is here in me. Love is here in me. Love is here in me. And so it is. And when you're ready, come back into this space, come back into the here and now. Give yourself a big stretch out. You have officially raised your vibration. Remember, raising your vibration is a consistent practice. It's about choosing ways to elevate your experience of being a human being. And that could be listening to spiritual information or podcasts when you're doing the housework or you're cooking dinner. It could be listening to empowering information or audiobooks when you are on the treadmill or walking to work or taking the train. It's that conscious choice to consistently step into a place where you are being the best being you can be. Remember that all of this information is going to be held on the Hay House Unlimited audio app. Today, we have two supportive pieces that will support you through this journey of raising your vibration. The first is a lesson from Mel Robbins, 3 simple ways to unleash your vibrational force. And the other is a meditation from Louise Hay. It all begins with love. I also wanted to recommend a couple of the other things I've been listening to on the app. The first one is Greg Braden's new book, Wisdom Codes. It is amazing. I actually have the hard copy, and then I'd been listening to I wanted to hear the words, so I've been listening to the audiobook on the Hay House app. And it's this amazing book that looks at lots of different prayers from different traditions and parts of the world and helps you see why they work. I was blown away by it. And there's also old Louise Hay tapes on there. There's one called Self-Healing that I've listened to on the treadmill like so many times I can't count. So I wanted to recommend them. The other thing I also want to say to you is, again, everything I've shared today from this will also be available for lifetime on the app. So you can get all of that there. And the last and final thing, if you want to stay in touch, you can find me on Instagram. My name is Kyle Gray UK on Instagram. I will be there all week sharing other tips to support you raising your vibration. And at the end of the week, I'm going to do a live on Instagram following the Raise Your Vibration Challenge, and I'm going to be taking people on one-on-one to ask their question to coach to bring through guidance for. So hope you will head over to Instagram and give me a follow there. It has been a great pleasure to be here. I am so looking forward to day 2 tomorrow, which is all about the body, how you can raise your vibration of your body to support your expansion and your journey upon this planet. My name is Kyle Gray, sending you lots of love. We're raising our vibration. We're helping the planet return to a state of love. All the best. Goodbye.